DayZ on PlayStation 4. We're doing tips and tricks. Some of these may seem a bit basic, but I mean the game just came out for players, so it's kind of good to cover. So to start, your character, you got right here, you can press the circle button to crouch, or you can hold it to go prone. If you notice on the bottom left corner of the screen, you can see a sound indicator. So this is a little wave that shows up when you're moving around. When you're running around like this, you make more noise than when you are crouched. Yep, very simple, very easy to understand. Moving past that, you can double click in the right stick and that will take you to first person, and you can double click it again to go back out. When you're joining a server, if it's really busy like it is at launch, go halfway down the list after choosing full servers at the top and you'll find yourself a full game to play in, but you'll be able to join in right away. Don't wait in a queue, there's no point in doing that. There's other servers that are full and you can join too. You'll want one that's got persistence on because things like, your buildings and everything like that save when you're playing. Cool, moving past that, inventory is sort of the main sort of hub area. You can see I got a lot of different items. I wish I had a gun that I could reload, so hopefully we'll find a clip for that. Basically your main hand here, we've got this item. So what I've done is I have hotkeyed this in this sort of menu so I can put it away there. So what do you do to hotkey something, say this gun, is you wave over it in the inventory, click in the left stick, and then pick where you want it to go, and then you press X and then it's going to be there. Then you can hold RB and you can switch between the items you have. Remember, if you have if your inventory is too full, you won't be able to switch between things, so just keep that in mind. You can also quickly move between the different areas with L1 and R1, and then you can use L2 and R2 to quickly switch up and down between the different menu areas in order to switch things. You can just hold the square to drop things on the ground, and then you'll be able to see it on the floor. So you can pick things up from the floor, or you can use your inventory to do so. You just want to quick swap it in there. Sometimes you need to put it in your hand. If you're swapping clothing, put the clothing in your hands, drop the clothing out of your equipment, equip the new clothing item, and so I guess we put that in our hands right here. And you can see the triangle for equipped. Equip the new item, and then take all the items out of the vicinity area and put them into your new inventory. Super helpful. The bottom right corner there, that's where you're seeing all your icons. You need to keep those healthy and good because they're going to increase your performance and your survival likelihood within the game. So you actually do have to find materials such as like food or water, and you got to eat things. So you can actually don't have to eat all of food. If you eat too much food at once, your character will actually get sick and vomit on the ground, which is hilarious. Cool. So that's kind of the basics there for that sort of thing. There's a lot of other technical details. You can wear a lot of different clothing items. If you have melee items, you can keep them in your inventory, but you can also put one on your back, which is super cool. Same with guns, you can put one on your back. Very helpful. You might get things like vests, so you can kind of wear those on top. And you get bags. You want different types of bags, hold more things. Remember, the bulkier the bag, the bigger your target you are, so that's something to keep in mind. So you want a medium-sized bag, ideally. And remember, your colors sort of matter too, so I mean, you might be more noticed if you have a bright red helmet. Just saying. Be smart about it. Cities are going to be more popular and you're going to have more performance issues within them, just so you know. Certain buildings have better things. I always suggest going along the coastline because you're going to find basically overturned or just regular boats sitting there, and they usually have food or water resources in them, or even basic bags that can be super helpful. You can use the L1 to zoom in and actually get a good distance on things. You may actually want to deploy that kind of thing when you're using something like a firearm. Cool. So you can see the firearm here. We've got like a zoomed in. You can't click because we don't get ammo, and then we can click in the right stick in order to go into a first-person perspective on that. You could also do zoom in. You can also... Okay, I'm going to have to go over this for the contextual leaning. So when you've got guns, you're able to contextually lean. So you aim in, and then you can hold on left or right, L1, R1, and that kind of gives you a lean. You can also tap it once, L1 or R1, to switch your shoulder perspectives so that you can get a different viewing angle, which is obviously super helpful. Hopefully, yeah. So you get things like flashlight. Usually it's food and stuff. just on the edges or inside these boats, and it is a huge help. There we go, a Pepsi Cola. Something to keep in mind. Again, going along the beaches, super good, super helpful. You'll get tons of resources and supplies that will be a big difference in your survival. When you're looking around, you don't really have an in-game map. I mean, you can find them, but they're super rare. You're never going to run into them. I suggest using DayZ iSurvive. You can use this on your browser, or you can download an app on your phone. Heavily suggested. It'll help you learn the cities. The cities all have sort of these map kind of, well, not map things, but they all have a sort of sign just outside of it. I believe that might be it, somewhere around there, and you can see what the name of the town is. A lot of this game is learning your surroundings, learning where you're located on the map, and then moving from there to go find supplies. You can basically find guns and stuff in any of the cities, so you don't really have to go super far to find it. You can. The military bases in the world are going to give you the best drops, the best weapons, the best bullets, and everything like that. You can also like crawl under these fences, which can be a big deal. Stealth is important. I think we're on like 1.02, so the zombies are a little bit more aggressive, I believe, in this one. And that should get patched up and it'll be a little bit easier in the future. Just from what I remember, 1.02, because it's a little bit different. I primarily play on the Xbox version, so this is something new. Different buildings give you different things. So this is a clinic. You'll find sort of medical buildings all over the place. They're going to give you health resources. When you're in buildings, I suggest closing all the doors, otherwise the zombies will race in, and that obviously creates a problem. Sometimes clothing will have items within it, so it doesn't hurt to check it. Same when you kill a zombie, sometimes the zombies might have like food or water on their person, and that's pretty helpful. Crap, there's a zombie in here. Yeah, they seem to really range from like ridiculous to super stupid in this. I don't understand what the issue is. So what I like to do is trap zombies in places and close doors on them. So I'm going to try to get him in here. Yeah, hopefully I'm actually going to try to get him to cut me a bit so I can show off the healing. Didn't quite work there. I don't want to lose my health too much because that'd be a hindrance. But I want to kind of show off the reg healing. Moving past that, there are important water areas in the game. So you see these fountains and stuff. Drinking water from like ponds and that can make you sick, so something to keep in mind. I suggest sort of crouching and drinking, and you can also look around while you're drinking too to make sure there's no one behind you. That's sort of a helpful thing. I hope this guy maybe clips me a bit so I can start bleeding. Nope, still not bleeding yet. You know, sometimes they hit you when you don't want to. And oh, cool, somebody's locked this door, so you can actually get a lockpick, and you can lock doors and protect yourself. In a future update, you're supposed to be able to smash the doors down, but I don't believe it has it on this point yet. I kind of want to draw this zombie lady in here, so that at a certain point, when this person, assuming they haven't logged off, sometimes they use it just as like a log off point, they have a zombie to deal with in their lower area. So have fun with that person that's in this building. Usually they like snipe from like the second levels and stuff, or they just use it as a safety again when they're logging out. Oh, look, there's somebody here. That's hilarious. You can also chat with people. That guy looks equipped. You can use down on the D-pad. You used to be able to... Oh, yeah, you can on this. So you can double-click it, and then it's like an always-on mic. Or you can, you know, double-click to click off. Stuff like that. And you can kind of see the mic thing. Now I'm bleeding, so that's a good thing. And we can move into this building in order to heal myself up. There's a proximity chat in the game. So remember, just kind of a hold chat or the double click down on the, I believe it's called a D-pad, whatever. So I'm bleeding, you can see the icon. It's not great. So what you want to do is you want to take a thing like a reg, and then you're able to hold RT and kind of patch yourself up. There's other things too, like, you know, actually like bandages and stuff. And you'll find those in the world. Pretty cool, right? Great, so that's the knife there. We don't have any bones. Oh, there's like a lot of people chatting around here. Oh, that guy is fantastic. Hopefully he doesn't shoot me. And I can't even hear them chatting in this game. I don't know. Anyways, if you have chicken bones, or human bones, you know, you can actually skin humans. You hold RT down on them. You gotta make sure they're dead. When you down somebody on the ground, they're not necessarily finished, so make sure you're still going until the point where it says you can kind of skin and quarter. Otherwise, yeah, you know, they can get back up once they get better. Kind of hoping this guy doesn't notice me. Alright, lose him because he's got a shotgun and everything. And I'm just trying to make an instructional guide. So it's perhaps not the smartest to run into people. People are really not friendly in this, and you know, kind of maybe mind your own business while you're getting used to the game, because they will shoot on sight. There's very rarely do you come into a situation where it is a friendly hello and stuff like that. Cool. So they're probably over there looking for me or something. You can go over to trees, and if you have a knife or the rock in your hands, and you use it in combination with the bones, you can actually take the long sort of stick that you get out of it, yeah, the long stick, and you can put it in your hands, and then you can combine the bones with the stick in order to make a spear, and the spear is a very powerful weapon in the game. You can also split it. Most commands and things can be done just from looking in here. You can also do it in your inventory. We have the combine option. So sometimes you put things in your hand, like you'd put a gun here, and then you'd have a magazine there, and then you'd press B on it, well, circle, and then you'd combine it. And that's how you would put a gun magazine into a gun, and then your guy would reload it. You can also hold Y with a gun in your hand, and that'll reload it. Or you can put bullets on the ground, and you can kind of click the prompt that shows up to reload it that way. When it comes to conflict and fighting, you're going to need to hold in your L2, and then you can tap R2 to do a swing. This is your regular combative move. You can use things such as cans to do a lot of damage against other players because it creates a bit of a stuttering effect. I believe they're working on changing that, so it might change over time. You can also hold triangle in order to do a more intense slash against your enemy zombies or your enemy people. If you hit a zombie square in the back, and I don't know if it's in this particular update, at this point you might be able to get an instant kill, which is obviously very helpful. You can also shave. I guess we'll do that now. You just hold RT and it kind of gets rid of the scruff. I don't know, it's kind of a stupid thing. Servers are like 60 players. Oh, babyface, get an achievement, how lovely. You can also make fires to cook food because you don't want to get sick from uncooked stuff. I have like a video that goes over fire things. I don't really want to go into it because this is a huge thing where you have to get like cut bark off a tree and make a fire drill, and there's like a bunch of different ways to do it. Athletic shoes. Kind of better than what I have. You just hold to drop things, and then you can equip it, and that's pretty cool. Still got our knife on our hand. Cool. You can also just hold square in order to quick drop something. Just so you know. I always go down when I click RB. That's weird. Or R1, whatever it is. So there's pants on the ground. This area is really good for like military type things. I don't know if I want to go north. Not necessarily will. Oh yeah, you can also hide things. So you can take like containers, like the teddy bear, believe it or not, is a container. And then you can bury it in the ground using a shovel. You can also farm in the game, which is pretty cool. Yeah, you create a plot with a shovel. I have a whole gardening video. It goes on gardening stuff because I like to garden in video games. Anyways, yeah, moving past that, the game does have a lot to offer. It's just about, like, it's a very technical experience. You know, you've got to learn how to do certain things properly, understand where loot is, and just kind of get better at it over time. That's really all this game is like learning the mechanics of survival, and then fiddling around. There's no real sort of end game in this. You just keep playing, so I thought that is worth mentioning. I guess we could take out a zombie to show that off. You don't want to get against two zombies though normally because they can actually do a lot of damage. Stamina bar, bottom left. I don't know if I've chatted about it enough. The more items you have, the less stamina you can have as a potential max. You know, obviously there's extra weighting and everything like that. And your noise matters too with the zombies. Medical thermometer. Neat. So sometimes I like to draw zombies into houses. We'll see if this actually works or not. They seem really glitchy today. Okay, there's that one. And then I like to close the door. And then I'm bleeding, so that's not good. Don't forget when you leave there's like a countdown timer. Sometimes, well, they used to let you just leave instantly, and then people were complaining a lot because your character could get like killed during that time. So you gotta wait it out. So just be prepared for that. The servers are constantly resetting, so be prepared for that. Hopefully it'll get better over time. When you're healing yourself, sometimes you're like cut multiple places, so make sure you're actually not still bleeding. The icon will let you know. You'll be healed up. This is a good time to take a drink, just to get that going. Refreshing Pepsi Cola. Great, top notch. So we gone over kind of movement, survival, everything like that. Zombies will eventually stop running at you, but they're pretty quick and they definitely like to keep up. Yeah, kind of cut this guy up. Oh look, this one actually did have food in it. That's convenient. I should also mention, when you're zoomed in, you can click R1 or L1, and you actually do like a bit of a juke move. You can kind of see this, which could be a huge savior if you're getting attacked. What is with the zombie like moving around like lightning speed? Jeez. Ridiculous. As soon as your character gets damaged, they won't move as good. If you're losing like blood and stuff, your world gets like dulled out. It's more dull. Jeez, like I'm pretty sure this is like the aggressive update where the zombies were just stupid ridiculous. I thought this would be more in line with the Xbox version. I'm gonna die here. She is so crazy. Yeah, so you gotta kind of keep hitting them to stutter them. My health is low, so it's like anything happens, I'm gonna die. You can't really do too much to fix up your health. It's more of like a sort of a time-based thing. You got to keep your food and your water up there at the max, and that's basically your best mark at getting your health back up, getting yourself to be back in a healthy position where you're not sort of straggling along like this. It used to be even more mechanical health-wise, but they sort of backpedaled, not on console, but like they revamped the whole thing on a while back. So oh yeah, you can also cut cattails as like a bush, which is kind of weird, but you just go with it. That's DayZ. Oh look, here's the sign. That'd be like a name of a town, but it'll be in a language you don't understand, and you gotta map it out to know what you're doing. Houses, that's where you're gonna find kind of your basic guns, like your shotguns, your rifles, your pistols. Where you're gonna find your food, resources. More food and resources on the beach. There's lots of loot out there. If you're complaining about not finding loot, you're just not looking for it, right? Industrial areas, so kind of like these docks and the storage. I call them storage areas, but they're basically these sheds. Will usually have good melee weapons. But those are also like industrial type places where you're gonna find your car parts. You can get a car in this, but it's a lot of work. So unless you're willing to like really spend the time and you got somebody to play with, I don't think it's really worthwhile to get a car going unless you're more of an advanced player. You'll mostly want to find a gun and start playing around, I'm going to assume. Yeah, just a lot of stuff. Remember, you got so many inventory slots for all your different guns and everything like that. You got to match your ammo with the gun, so you can wave over something, and then you get like an info pop up in the middle of the screen, and then I'll tell you it's like 9.19, and then you can go to like say your gun, and your gun will be like, this is what the gun takes. Yeah, pretty cool, right? Very helpful, and yeah, good indicator of things on this. So I mean, there's lots that you can do in the game, lots of technical aspects to it, smart ways to get things done. I hate going to these places, like they never have quite what I'm looking for in terms of items. Some of the storage containers you can actually open too, and they'll have items, like the military ones are super good for it. But we're gonna go along the beach a bit because, oh look, we're healing up. Oh, you can swim too. We'll have to go out a bit. There's nothing really out there, so don't really bother. When the world, you can get to a place where the world ends, and it's just kind of like this big, ugly, brown thing. Don't keep going. It doesn't go anywhere. But you can go. You see the icon there. Get wet. So you can actually hold the left stick, kind of like in a sprint mechanic, to sprint. You can also use that when you're climbing up and down ladders. So you can actually slide down a ladder, or you can quick climb a ladder, and the same sort of mechanic goes around for sprinting around things. and stuff like that. Yeah, a lot of tips and tricks. I hope this helped. I mean, I think it covered a lot, at least for, the basic mechanics of the game, so people understand what you're doing. And I hope they were helpful. If you want more in-depth information on things, let me know, and I can focus on stuff more directly. But yeah, that's the current adventure in DayZ on PlayStation 4.